Prime Mass 4, hopefully we're just not against another Helia deck. Those decks, those decks just... I hate those decks. Alrighty. I still feel like the players who play them are pretty arrogant too, but maybe that's just maybe that's an unfair assumption. Because one of the only decks that like have a truly good matchup against them are like mill decks, which they probably don't think are real decks. So how do you like that, mill players? The Heliod players don't think your deck is real. Anyway, let's see here. Anyway, I mean, hey, it's one nice thing about Relic is we can play it out and then just like get a Prowess trigger without necessarily having to like, you know, blow a burn spell early. Can be good. Looks like it's black-red mid-range. Really happy to have the main deck Relics if that is. Let's see. Probably they're Croxing. Oh, yeah, that's fine. I don't mind this one bit. Probably take the Flame Slash, I'm guessing, but it doesn't really make a difference to me. I'm jamming the Seasoned Pyromancer if I draw another Mountain or a Zoetic Cavern. Alright, well. I guess that makes sense in case we want to crack Relic to hit our land drop. We have to remove our own Firebolt. Alright, well. Let's see here. So I got the Flame Slash in hand if they have a Croxa. And then hopefully we can start pulling ahead with the Seasoned Pyromancer. That's the plan at least. It's kind of like a trade-off here. Like we don't play discard spells like they do. But on the other hand, the discard spells can be very good early on to take cards like Seasoned Pyromancer, but the problem is they become dead later on in the game. So they are quite a trade-off. Overall, I think the discard spells actually do incentivize you to be more, to be a little bit more aggro. And I think we are both actually more aggro and actually better in the late game for not necessarily playing any discard spells. We are a little bit softer to combo though as a result, but otherwise I do think. That is kind of odd. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do because of this is I'm going to cycle Relic because... Alright, well, I think the Blood Moon might hopefully turn them off from being able to play Batterskull. That's the hope, at least. I mean, they have to have, like, exactly basic planes. Dun, 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 dun. No basic planes. Pretty good. Ooh, Sword of Feast and Famine. Sword of Feast and Famine's not really all that scary. And, yeah. So we're going to play all our spells and get maximum value. So they could equip this, and we don't exactly have, like, excellent blocks, but we could also just discard the Blood Moon. It's not really that big of a deal. It might be worth it. Just discard the Blood Moon. Yeah, I think I'm just going to discard the Blood Moon. I mean, them untapping their lands is a little bit iffy, but I just can't help but feel like pitching the Blood Moon is pretty free, and it's probably better to have a 2/2 body than a 1/1 to pitch to Season. That might be incorrect. I mean, I was going to get a 1/1 body off of pitching this to my own Seasoned Pyromancer anyway. Yeah, I also just had this feeling they really couldn't do much with the mana. Alright, anyway, let's continue on churning through our deck. Yeah. Let's not attack, because I think we want to double block, and if they bolt, I don't really care. These are kind of throwaway cards in a way anyway. Alrighty. The season Pyromancer game is on. Alright, well, they had to discard their Batter Skull. I don't know about that, but I guess they are kind of a ways away. Yeah. Blood Moon doing a lot of work here. Shut them off from being able to play Lingering Souls from hand. Alright, well, we'll offer the Lightning Bolt. Like I said, I don't really care if they bolt. Alright. Works for me. And we definitely are putting Obosh to hand. Unfortunately, Sword of Feast and Famine does line up pretty well against Obosh, but fortunately for us, we do have Lightning Bolt to bolt whatever they try to equip. I mean, we could attack. I don't want to though. I don't want to get hit by the Sword of Feast and Famine. Hopefully, don't thought seize me, bro. That's too bad. I might just cycle the Relic if they equip. Okay, that's a little odd that they try to equip that, of all things. But I guess it kind of makes sense because... Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to bolt in response, because that just seems like the responsible thing to do. And then I think I'm going to cycle so that, like, I mean, sure, I turn off my own Season Pyromancer, but I at least get to turn off theirs too. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Seems like a good enough opportunity to me. So, issue here is that they can equip and then equip again. But I can totally afford to just pitch this mountain. It's no biggie. You know what, let's attack with both first, but then we actually hit through with more damage if we attack with Obosh, but then just double block with the elementals. What I don't want them doing, though, is I don't want them attaching the sword to an elemental. That isn't a... Actually, we do want them attaching it to a non-spirit elemental token. I mean, just like a regular old elemental token. Alright, so we'll attack. And if they block both of these, then I think they get blown out. But if they block... yeah. Alright, so we'll just play Obosh. I mean, we lost out on 1 point of damage, possibly, but again, they probably would have just double blocked with the elemental, and I don't know. Yeah, so we do want them to attach to an elemental, because, sure, in the short run, we'll take more damage because they'll get through with a flyer and with a pro-black creature, but in the long run, though, yeah, that could have been a consideration of playing Bonecrusher Giant, but I was more worried about Thoughtseize. I think with Obosh in hand, Obosh in play, I think we're pretty well set up. So I was willing to run that risk. Honestly, this sort of Feast and Famine more than anything might just help keep the Obosh itself at bay. But yeah, you know, I think that was worth it. I mean, I think that's definitely the better. Yeah, and thankfully it doesn't give pro red, so I get to Firebolt. And I might as well just, while I'm at it, just Firebolt the other spirit. And like, you know, sure, I could have gone face, but like I'm putting them in a situation here where they have to chump block the Obosh and the Soul Scar, and then they basically take 4 anyway, so they're in a really tough spot next turn. So I think this is probably it for them. Yep. Yeah, see what I mean? With Obosh in play, I like my chances, so I was willing to risk them discarding the Bonecrusher. What I just didn't want to happen is I did not want them to Thoughtseize the Obosh. That's what I did not want to happen. And back to Obosh, not gonna lie, and it feels pretty good. Just always having this incredibly powerful companion, always able to be summoned to hand. I mean, sure, like green white Heliod isn't magically like a great matchup, but you know, as we saw though, I mean, with the Oblivion Stones, and we didn't see the Pillage on the Utopia Sprawl plus Blood Moon combo come up, but like with the Oblivion Stones and the Pyrite Spellbombs and possibly the Kozilek returns, maybe I should side out a couple of lands just for that. Definitely, even against Heliod, we've got a better chance than ever, I think, with this particular build. Let's see here. Zoetic Cavern. Mardu mid-range. I am tempted to just play Pillage just to try to complete the lock, as they say. I don't know that this is correct or not, but it feels better than playing Monastery Swiftspear, which I think is just going to insta-die. Soulscar Mage seems to have a little more merit because it could potentially help deal with the Batterskull token. But honestly, I kind of like the idea of just playing Oblivion Stone better, because this also helps deal with the Batterskull token and other equipment. I mean, like, it's just more versatile. I know Oblivion Stone, like, it doesn't, you know, before you guys judge me, let's actually see how this plays out in the game, because I'm telling you, I think it's not as bad as you think. Do I really need Flame Slash though? Pyrite Spellbomb could be better, both because it can cycle and because if they happen to be randomly playing like Core Firewalker or something. I know it seems like, why would they be playing Core Firewalker? But trust me, I've seen it all. We didn't see any high toughness creatures, at least I didn't, unless they suddenly have Magmatic Channeler. Then I think Pyrite Spellbomb, like, I think a lot of times we're just going to be cycling this. And just, you know, I mean, just having the ability to cycle, I mean, like, most of the time it's going to be pretty close to the same thing as Flame Slash anyway. Plus, but, you know, having the ability to cycle Flame Slash is very powerful. Alright, keep. It's got, like, you know, I mean, hopefully we stick the Pyrite Spellbomb and then we can cycle it later, or just kill a Stoneforge, or who knows. So I like it when people make their username based on their avatar. Radiant Infant. Inquisitive Puppet. They might even take the Pyrite Spellbomb just because, like, the cycle can just be really good. Or they might take the Valakut Awakening. I don't know. None of these cards seems like they're too incredibly threatening. Yeah, so that's the power of Pyrite Spellbomb. You know, they had to respect it. I guess they didn't have to respect it, but, like, you know. Let's cycle Forgotten Cave in a turn. just because I guess the sooner we draw into a relic, maybe the better. I don't know. We may actually just play the Zoetic Cavern as a 2/2 here. Already. Yeah, see, there we go. Yeah, I'll play this. I'm a little bit worried about a Kolaghan's Command. So for that reason, I'm going to play out the Mountain instead of a Valakut. And the hope is, as long as we can stick a Blood Moon, then these other cards come into play untapped anyway. Okay, this might just be a quick win here. Because I don't think they've got a way to deal with Blood Moon on 2 mana. And Zoetic Cavern, Blood Moon for the win. Are they going to get totally color screwed? It looks like they're going to get totally color screwed. See, what other card offers this type of, like, just I win button? Like, just one card in and of itself, just boom. Like, 1-card combo. Blood Moon, 1-card combo. People want Blood Moon banned, but, like, no. Like, you know, monocolor is very powerful. See, the only reason why people feel Blood Moon's unfair is because for some reason they assume that monocolor decks are unplayable. But, like, I've played tons and tons of monocolor decks of all times, or 2-color decks with a very, very light splash. Like right now, I'm literally making the lightest of possible light black splashes in Merfolk. I want to play Merfolk again, by the way. But anyway, like, yeah. So, I mean, you can totally play monocolor decks or decks that play like the tiniest of tiny splashes. It's, yeah. Just I don't know who came up with this idea that monocolor or mostly monocolor decks are unplayable. It's just not true. It's not even close to true. It's not even in the ballpark of being true. Alright, well, might as well just get the Obosh out here. I don't necessarily mind taking too much damage. If my Relic does get Kolaghan's Command, so be it. I'm only worried about Kolaghan's Command on the Obosh plus Lightning Bolt. Kolaghan's Command on the Relic is like, I don't really care. The Obosh just threatens to take over the game here. And it is worth noting, if we were on Companionless and we didn't have any other creatures, then this could actually be a big problem. But since we just have Obosh just waiting in the wings. I mean, you know, I was actually experimenting with Madcap Experiment for a while. The maddest of Madcap Experiments. But I kind of realized, man, like, why am I ditching around with Madcap Experiment? Like, Obosh is kind of like a Platinum Empyreon that I can just have access to for free, basically. Okay, well, they sure did needle my my Relic. They got me there. Okay, so I got some options here. Let's see here. Six, 12. I got lethal here, actually, as long as I can untap. Because Firebolt represents 8 damage, and this represents 12. That's insane that just two Lightning Bolts and 1 Firebolt represent lethal. Well, alright, let's cycle, though, because... yeah, I'll play this, because... now, hopefully they don't, like, double bolt the Obosh or anything. I am a little bit worried about double bolting the Obosh. I mean, if we double bolt, then they're very close to dead. Yeah, I'm just going to fire off the double bolt now. I mean, I know this telegraphs that they're dead, but, like, they have to deal with Obosh anyway. But this, yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see. Basically, this says, do you have an answer to Obosh? If you don't, then Firebolt gets you next turn. They may... okay, yeah, I was going to say, I mean, they could always respond and kill Obosh in response to Firebolt. Alright, let's see if we draw, like, another Lightning Bolt or another Firebolt, just you know, in a hypothetical alternate universe where they could burn out Obosh. Let's see. Yep, and we just, let's see, yeah. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus we had, yeah. So we had 7 total mana, so we could have still played Firebolt and then just played Pyrite Spellbomb to finish it off. Okay. Can't complain.